Credit cards are one of the many tools we have in our financial tool belt. However, I would argue they are one of the most powerful tools we have. If you're smart with them, you could be sitting at 30,000 feet, knocking back caviar, sipping on champagne, all for next to nothing. If, however, you're not careful, you could end up costing yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in unnecessary interest payments. But regardless of how you use them, one thing is very clear. There are a lot of credit cards on the marketplace. Some great, some not so much, and that's why today we are going to be ranking over 30 credit cards from worst to best. Now, of course, who am I to be giving this ranking? Well, hello, my name is John of John's Finance Tips. I have spent the better part of the last decade in the credit card game, learning all the tips and tricks and hacks that have enabled me to build a credit score of well over 800, as well as to now travel almost exclusively for free from the points I've earned. And now my goal is to try to teach you some of the things that I've learned. And so hopefully after we have ranked all 30 plus of these credit cards, you'll be closer to a decision on your next card. Now some housekeeping as far as how we're gonna go through the list. I've taken the cards and we're gonna go through them alphabetically. In addition, here's how my ranking categories go. We've got 5 classes. If it's a D class, this is pretty meh tier, and these are the cards I would largely avoid applying for. C class is your base tier of cards, and these are cards I would look to apply for within the next 6 months or so. A B class is a mid-tier card, and these are cards I probably want to get in the next month or two. A class are your top tier cards, and these are cards you should probably consider applying for today, or if not very soon. And S class is God tier. And these are cards that you should have applied for yesterday. Now, as far as like why a certain card is higher or lower, I look at things such as the ease of use of the card. I look at things such as the value that the card derives. And of course, if it's a card against a major bank, the value of the currency and the ease of use of the currency. So there's a lot going on, but I try to break it down as we go through each individual card. The only thing that I ask for you now is pop a squat, tap the thumb icon. And if you'd like to support the channel anyway, you can feel free to check out my top affiliate offers in the description box down below, and we're gonna go ahead and get going. So the first card we'll look at, or I guess broadly the category cards that we're gonna look at are gonna be 0% APR / promotional balance cards. The reason I didn't really bucket them out into individual cards is that they're largely all the same. The 3 cards that we have in this category are the Citi Diamond Preferred, the Bank of America Bank Card, and the Wells Fargo Reflect. What's unique about all these cards is the fact that they have a 0% promotional APR that can extend for 18 months or greater. So this is great for someone who needs to do a balance transfer, you're working on your credit. But since these cards don't really offer any sort of elevated earnings and there's not a whole bunch of bells and whistles besides the balance transfer play, I would firmly categorize these cards as C-class cards. Next up, we've got the Altitude Reserve by US Bank. This is the card I feel like that gets overlooked because it's so cashback focused, and people in the points and miles game typically like to focus on cards that you can transfer to partners. But regardless, I think this card is pretty powerful for one key feature, and that is the fact that you can get 3% cash back when you check out using mobile wallets, such as something like an Apple Pay, Google Pay, or Samsung Pay. If you think about it, a lot of places you shop at allow you to check out with mobile wallet, or you could check out online using mobile wallet, and so having a 3x catch-all card there is phenomenal. The other benefits this card offers are a $325 credit for travel or food purchases. In addition, you're gonna get a $100 global entry credit, and you get some lounge access, all against a $400 annual fee, but effectively you're paying $75. This card, I like any given day. I would say this is a solid A-class card. Next card we have here is the Amazon Prime card by Chase. Now for this card, I'm gonna assume that you have an Amazon Prime membership because nowadays, I mean, who doesn't? With Amazon Prime membership, this card is gonna give you 5% cash back on Amazon.com, as well as 5% cash back at Whole Foods. The other earning categories are 2% cash back at gas stations, 2% cash back on commuting, and 2% cash back on dining. But I wanna focus back on the 5% cash back on Amazon and Whole Foods. That right there is it. I mean, I spend probably way too much money on Amazon. It's just too quick, right? Amazon Prime, you get it next day. Sometimes you can get it same day. And taking all that wrapped in at no annual fee, this card absolutely is a solid Class A card. The next card we have here is the Apple card by Goldman Sachs. This card will earn 2% cash back, but you have to use Apple Wallet. If you don't, and if you actually physically swipe the card, you only earn 1% cash back. Like, you get penalized if you use the physical card. And the irony is that they market the card as titanium, it's shiny, it's metal, but they will penalize you if you actually use it. In addition, the card has no sign-up bonus. And if I look at this card compared to other 2% cards in the marketplace, and I actually have a video that I can link to where I talk about other 2% cards, there's no sign-up bonus, there's no other real benefits. This card's not it for me. And so for that, this card is squarely a D-class card. I just avoid it. The next card we have on the list is the A Advantage Aviator by Barclays. This is a co-branded card that lets you earn American Airlines miles. This card from an earnings and benefits perspective is okay. Honestly, it's pretty meh. You get 2 American Airlines miles for every dollar that you spent on an eligible American Airlines flight or AmericanAirlines.com, and you get 1 mile everywhere else. You get a free check bag, you get priority boarding, but really where this card shines is the fact that the sign-up bonus can be earned by making one purchase. Like, you literally go and buy a pack of gum for 99 cents and you will earn the sign-up bonus. And that sign-up bonus can range anywhere from 60 to 75,000 American Airlines miles. And the value of American Airlines miles, let's just say 70,000 is enough to get you from North America to the Maldives and Qatar Q Suites, which is a flight that could cost anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000. That is the value. And so taking a look at this is a solid B-class card. This is something I would definitely get in the next couple of months just to shore up my American Airlines miles balance. Moving on down the list, we have next the Bilt MasterCard. This card is one of my favorite no annual fee cards today because it allows you to earn points for rent. Your largest monthly expense, you're earning nothing for it. In addition, it also has transfer partners. Basically, you can take the points that you're earning from rent, transfer them to earlier mentioned American Airlines, or you can transfer them to Hyatt, and that's where you can get some crazy outsized value. In addition, the card gives you things like cell phone protection. You can also have auto rental insurance. And of course, this card is gonna earn 3x on dining, 2x on travel, and they've been running these Bilt Day promotions where basically earnings are doubled on the first of the month. So you're getting 6x for dining, 4x for travel, 2x for and still 1x for rent. This card absolutely is an S tier card. You absolutely should jump on it yesterday, and if you haven't already, jump on it today. The next card we have is the Blue Cash Everyday from American Express. This card is pretty interesting. It was actually recently revamped just last year. The categories I think are interesting are the 3x on gas as well as 3x on grocery for up to 6K of spend. In addition, you can have another category of 3% cashback for online shopping. This category is interesting because there have been reports of people being able to use this, the online 3x category, for some place like a wholesale club such as BJ's. And as you know, folks, it's pretty easy to spend way too much money at a wholesale club. But I'm not loving that there's a 6K limit for the gas and grocery spend. And so for this, I would say this card is squarely a C-class card. This is a card I would look to get in the next 6 months or so, but I'm not really jumping on it right away. Next up, we have the Business Platinum from American Express. This card can have a sign-up bonus that can range anywhere from like 100 to 250,000 points after spending anywhere from 15,000 to 30,000. So there's a huge range there. From an earnings perspective, this card is okay for businesses. You'll get 1.5x if you have single purchases over 5,000. You'll get the 5x for some of the travel, the 1x for most other things. But where this card really shines is in some of the credits. So you get a Dell credit, Adobe credit, you also get an Indeed credit. If you actually take those credits and leverage them as a small business, you can actually very easily come out net positive $200 or $300 just for having this card. In addition, being that it's an American Express Business Platinum, you get access to one of the most valuable domestic lounges in the US, which are American Express's Centurion lounges. In addition to that, you're also gonna get a Priority Pass lounge membership, global entry, and you're gonna have the opportunity to transfer your points that you earn on this card over to one of the flight partners. So for that, taking a look at this card, I absolutely love it. This is absolutely an S tier card, especially for the right small business owner. But for most people, if you have a business, you should also consider jumping on this card, if nothing else, for the sign-up bonus. Next up, we have Credit One, and pretty much every product they offer. So if you don't know, Credit One primarily serves the subprime market. They offer secured credit cards, cards that help you build your credit. The issue I have with Credit One is sometimes they might seem just a little bit predatory in the sense that the annual fees and all fees associated to these cards are, to me, just outrageous because you can get secured cards that don't have these outrageous fees. So with that, and the fact that it's really not adding anything net new, I would say largely any credit cards from Credit One, D category. Just avoid them. Don't do it. If you want suggestions for alternative secured cards, look at any of the major banks, Discover, Capital One, Chase. They all have secured products that can help you build credit that are not gonna try to take advantage of you and house you with fees. Next up, we have the Custom Cash from Citibank. This card is actually a really solid card. This card will earn 5% cash back for your highest spend category every single month. So what that means is if you just use the card for a category like gas or grocery, you're pretty much locking in 5% cash back. And that's up to $500 to spend each month. The card has no annual fee. I would say this card squarely is a B-class card. After that, we've got the Delta card. So all of these are the co-branded Delta cards from American Express. The reason I'm including them as a category is that I always get questions about Delta cards, specifically the Amex Delta Platinum. And I think it's because people are confusing the Amex Delta Platinum with the regular Amex Platinum. The Delta Platinum is not great. Actually, all the Delta cards are not great. Why? Because Delta Sky Miles are pretty much worth next to nothing. In points and miles space, they are honestly just some of the most worthless points to capture. Now, if you do a ton of domestic travel, maybe you could pull some value there, but when it comes to anything international, it literally costs hundreds of thousands of Delta Sky Miles when maybe you could use 50 or 60,000 miles from the Air France KLM program Flying Blue. And so for that, I would say squarely these Delta cards, if it's not just the sign-up bonus and you're actually looking at them, they're a D. Like I would just avoid them. I personally wouldn't even fly Delta, especially given the recent changes that they've had to their frequent flyer program. They're clearly kind of signaling to the market, if you don't spend money with us, but you only fly with us, then we don't value you as a customer. I largely would just avoid them. And another quick note, the benefits that you get, such as the Delta Sky Club access and all that stuff, you can get from the American Express Platinum card as well, which gives you more benefits other than just being locked into the Delta ecosystem. So there really isn't a whole ton of net new that these cards are getting you. Maybe some priority boarding here and there, but again, my advice is just don't fly Delta. All right, moving down the list, we've got the Discover It, everyone's favorite beginner credit card. I feel like this is a card that everyone has either heard of or touched or had at some point. This right now has a sign-up bonus that's gonna double your cash back in the first year, effectively giving you 10% cash back on rotating categories and up to $1,500 to spend every quarter. Honestly, this is an inoffensive card, no annual fee, no foreign transaction fee, but it's not something that's really giving you that much oomph other than getting started. So I would say this is squarely a C-class card. Next up, we have the Double Cash card by Citi. This card comes with 2% cash back everywhere. And unlike the Apple Card, you can physically use the card or load it onto a mobile wallet. You're not gonna get penalized for using an actual card. The only thing I wish this card had was a sign-up bonus, but what's unique about this card / Citi products is that you can do a product change. So what I would actually recommend folks do with the Citi Double Cash is after you've had a custom cash and a sign-up bonus to get the double cash, and after a year of having the double cash, product change it to a custom cash so that you can have multiple custom cash cards. But kind of as a card standalone, I would say this is a C-class card. Great 2x catch-all everywhere, no annual fee. But again, it's not really pushing you over the edge. I'm not really jumping at an urgency to get this card. And the strategy really is to get the card and product change it to a custom cash. So you have 5% cash back, 5% cash back, either across different categories or 5% cash back for a higher spend threshold of $1,000 a month. Next up, we have the Freedom Unlimited by Chase. This again is a beginner credit card that's made the rounds. In fact, it was my second card ever. So what's unique about this card is it's 1.5% cash back everywhere. And what I like about the Freedom Unlimited is that it's a card you don't have to largely think about, but it gets your foot in the door with the Chase ecosystem, which some could argue has some of the most valuable points in the game. In addition, if you want, you can use my special referral to actually double your cash back in the first year. So instead of getting 1.5% cash back for everything, you'll get 3% cash back for everything, I believe up to $20,000 or $25,000 of spend. And the play here is you stacking the Chase Freedom with a Sapphire Preferred or a Sapphire Reserve, and so that the points, now you get the 3x, then you can get a 25% bonus if you redeem with the Sapphire Preferred or a 50% bonus redeeming with the Sapphire Reserve. But really, it's getting your foot in the door with Chase because that is a relationship you absolutely want to build. And for that, I would say this is an A-class card through and through. Hey guys, quick update on the Chase Freedom Unlimited. It actually right now has an even more elevated sign-up bonus, which is crazy, but they will do unlimited cash back match in the first year. So instead of having the limit right now where it's an additional 1.5% for $20,000 or $25,000, it's unlimited. So in effect, you can get 10x on the travel, you can get 6x on dining, 6x on grocery stores, and 3x everywhere else as a base spend, no limit, no threshold. If you pair this as in the trifecta with the Sapphire Reserve or Sapphire Preferred, that could effectively be like a 9x dining, 9x drugstores, and 4.5x everywhere. I'm getting excited because I haven't seen a sign-up bonus offer this high before. You should definitely consider the card. And unfortunately, as of the filming of this video, it's not publicly available yet, but there is a way to get it. And that is you can use my special affiliate offer in the description box down below here. The next card up is the Gold card from American Express. This card has been a favorite of mine since honestly it got revamped a couple years back. So this card right now has a sign-up bonus. They can range anywhere from 60 to 75,000 or so after 6K spend in 6 months. But what really makes this card stand out is you earn 4x on grocery and 4x on dining out. Now, the card does have an annual fee of $250, but you get $240 of what I would call eating credits. So $120 for Uber/Uber Eats and $120 for like Grubhub or Shake Shack or Cheesecake Factory, just to name a couple. It is annoying that the credits are built out monthly, but as long as you can track them, I see no problem pulling out the max value from this card. So effectively, you're paying $10 for this card. For me, this is a solid A-class card that you should definitely consider jumping on today. In addition, because of recent changes between American Express and the Gold card, I can leave my video up here, but the TLDR of it is if you have had an American Express Platinum and you've gotten a bonus, you won't be eligible for a bonus from the Gold. So if you're gonna consider any American Express charge card, Gold or Platinum, get the Gold first to get the sign-up bonus, so then you can get the bonus from the Platinum, because if you get the bonus from the Platinum, you won't be able to get the bonus from the Gold. Hopefully that made sense. The next card or cards we have on the list is the Chase Ink family. That's the Ink Unlimited, that's gonna be the Ink Cash, and the Ink Preferred. All these are phenomenal cards. Again, I love Chase, bit of a Chase fanboy, but their business cards are incredible. So right now, the Ink Unlimited and the Ink Cash have elevated sign-up bonuses of $900 or 90,000 points, and the Ink Preferred is also elevated up to 100,000 points. Now the spend is gonna vary between the two cards, but for the Ink Cash and Ink Unlimited, it's gonna be $6,000 to spend in 3 months, and for the Ink Preferred, it's gonna be $8,000 to spend within the first 3 months. The way I would leverage these cards are sign-up bonuses. It's a pure sign-up bonus play because Chase is incredibly valuable. The Ink Unlimited is great because it's 1.5% on the business. The Ink Cash has some bonus categories. The Ink Preferred has some travel categories, but largely this is gonna be a sign-up bonus play to have your foot in the Chase ecosystem. And overall, whether you're a small business owner or a small business owner, you should absolutely consider jumping on this card. These are solid A-class cards. The next card we have is the Carrot card. This one's a special one because this one is for all my creator friends out there because they pitch themselves as the creator credit card or charge card, or whatever they were. Regardless, this card is purported to help you as a creator get financing and get credit lines because you have a thin credit profile, but the net of it is, it's just not a good card. There's no sign-up bonus. When it first launched, they compared themselves against a business charge card and a personal credit card, so a little bit of a dubious advertising there. And at the end of the day, it's just not that great. You can get a secured credit card that can help you build credit, or you can get one of the various business cards I mentioned earlier that actually gets you into a viable banking ecosystem with a viable pool of transfer partners that can actually help you unlock outsized value. And so for that, I would say this is squarely a D-class card. Avoid. Following that, we have the luxury card or luxury cards. They've got a gold, a black, a platinum, but really what they are is, honestly, I would call them subpar cards. These cards pitch themselves as, oh, we're so great because we're a heavy metal card, right? Look at this. The gold card literally says how heavy they are. They charge a $1,000 annual fee, but do they deliver the benefits that outweigh the fee? No, absolutely not. The benefits are not there. This is like the most comical card that I see. The luxury card is just kind of taking advantage of people who are unaware, thinking, wow, the name sounds luxury and it's heavy gold, therefore it must be good. No, it's not. Avoid. This is squarely a D-class card. Next card is the Platinum by American Express. This card is one I hear about all the time because people, for one reason or another, have heard about it, right? The Amex Platinum. It's oozing with prestige is what people think. But at the end of the day though, the card comes with a sign-up bonus anywhere from 100 to 150,000, and you're spending anywhere from maybe 5 to 10,000 depending on where you're finding a sign-up bonus offer from. Earnings perspective, meh. It's gonna earn 1x everywhere else, 5x if you're booking flight direct with airline or Amex travel. Benefits are pretty phenomenal, but it does come with a $695 annual fee. My net for this card is if you are a road warrior, you travel a ton, like a ton, this is a solid card. If you, though, are getting this card because you think somehow it's giving you prestige or status, it's not the card for you. And if you don't travel a ton, this is not the card for you. And so for that, I would say this is squarely a B-class card. I'm not really jumping on it, but for the right person, it could be an A-class card. For the wrong person, it could be a C-class card, and so it's landing squarely in B. Next up, we've got the Premier card by Citi. This card I feel like really does just not get any love. And I can see why. It doesn't have a whole ton of kick, though there is some. So it's got some solid 3x earning categories like restaurants, supermarkets, and gas stations. The sign-up bonus is honestly not terrible. Anywhere from 60 to 75,000 points whenever you find it, after spending about $4,000 in the first 3 months. But at the end of the day though, it is a mid-tier card and their transfer partners are so-so. Like probably the one I would call as could have been unique is Qatar Airways, but recently Qatar had a little bit of a devaluation. But what I do like about the Citi Premier is if let's say you had a custom cash earning 5x or a double cash earning 2x, but you convert that into a 5x card, you can actually pool those thank you points together to then transfer out. So that's the value of the Premier card, is getting your Citi thank you points out of a cashback type of lock into more of a points transfer play, and that's gonna give you way more value. That said though, it's not really a card that I'm jumping for joy over, and so I would say this is solidly a C-class card. Next up, we have the Ritz-Carlton card by Chase. Now, what's unique about this card is you actually can't apply for it directly. You have to get one of Chase's other Marriott cards, and after 1 year, you can product change to this card. But this card's pretty interesting. So it comes in at an annual fee of $450, which might seem steep, but its sister card or whatever card on the American Express side, the Bonvoy Brilliant, clocks in at over $600 a year. And comparing the two cards, they both get the same free night award certificate for stays up to 85,000 points. In addition, the Ritz-Carlton card has a $300 travel credit that you can use to offset the annual fee. In addition, this card gives you free authorized users, and the authorized users are able to get priority pass. If you're a Marriott customer, you want to stay at Marriott's or whatever, this is definitely a card that I think is worthwhile to get at an effective $150 annual fee with an $85 free night credit and some of the elevated earnings at Marriott properties. So overall, this is an A-class card, though I guess technically you can't jump on it today. You have to jump on another Chase card and do a product change to it in a year from now. Next up, we have the Sapphire Preferred by Chase. So this card is gonna have a sign-up bonus of about 60,000 points after 4K spend in 3 months. What's unique about this card, what I like about this card, is that it's a mid-tier card. If you redeem your points through the Chase travel portal with the Sapphire Preferred, you'll get a 25% bonus. Of course, you have all the associated transfer partners, and you get a $50 hotel credit every year. Against a $95 annual fee, you're paying effectively $45, which honestly isn't too bad. It's a solid card, and also it's one of the components of the Chase trifecta, right? Where you're gonna stack on, let's say maybe a Chase Freedom, pair it with a Chase Ink in there, or however you wanna create your trifecta. I would say this card, similar to how the Freedom Unlimited is oftentimes a lot of people's first beginner-ish type of card, this is a lot of people's first mid-tier travel type of card, and it's fairly accessible. You've got the valuable transfer partners such as Hyatt, or actually namely Hyatt because United with their deval. I would say the Chase Sapphire Preferred is solidly an A-class card. Next up, we have the Sapphire Reserve by Chase. So with the Sapphire Preferred as a mid-tier card, the Sapphire Reserve, it's their top-tier card. The Sapphire Reserve, honestly, I think is a card that's getting a little bit long in the tooth. So sign-up bonus typically is about 60,000 points as well after 4K spend in 3 months. This card's got the 3x on dining, 3x on travel, great. You've got the transfer partners, same as the Sapphire Preferred, with Hyatt being the most valuable, and you get a 50% bonus if you redeem your points via the Chase travel portal with the Sapphire Reserve. This card also gives you things like priority pass, global entry, you know, the works of a premium travel card. But if I compare this card to some of the other cards on the marketplace and kind of where Chase has been or hasn't been with the Sapphire Reserve, this is squarely a B-class card. I'm not saying it's worse than a Freedom Unlimited or a Sapphire Preferred, but for value in its particular category, it's really just not delivering it for me, other than the 50% bonus. There's much better top-tier travel cards, and that's why it's squarely in that B category. Next up, we have the SavorOne by Capital One. This card is a $200 sign-up bonus after $500 of spend in the first 3 months. In addition, there's no annual fee, so a quick $200 savings. In addition, it's got some solid 3% cashback categories, such as dining, entertainment, grocery, just to name a few. In addition, the card gives you complimentary membership to Uber One until November of 2024. Overall, I would say this is a great elevated earnings card at the no annual fee, almost beginner type of category. So I would say this card is solidly in the A-class recommendation. All right, final 4. And I'm guessing this video is dragging a bit, so we're just gonna speed it up a little bit. First, we've got the Venture X by Capital One. All you need to know is this card is S-Class. You should have had it yesterday, you should have had it the day before, you should have had it last year. This card is phenomenal. Why? Because it's the top tier premium travel card that puts $5 back into your pocket. Great sign-up bonus, solid earnings, but it's really the fact that there's $5 going back into your pocket for giving you global entry, lounge access, transfer partners. Get the card. After that, we've got the Venture X Business, also by Capital One. This card, A-class. If you take the personal and you flip it over to the business, that's what you have. But the reason that it's special is the fact that you get 2x catch-all for all of your business purchases. That doesn't happen, folks. Most of the business cards we're gonna talk about have a limit for how much you can earn in terms of elevated cashback. This is 2x for all of your purchases, unlimited, incredible. And similar to the personal, you're gonna get paid $5 to have the card. The only reason it gets a little bit of a zonk is the fact that the sign-up threshold is pretty high. $30,000 to spend for 150,000 points. Whereas you contrast it to the American Express Business Platinum, I had an offer for a 30K spend and they gave me 250,000 points. Don't get me wrong, even though the sign-up bonus is high, I still highly recommend this as a card to get, and especially if you can figure out some creative ways to hit that sign-up bonus. Now we have the autograph card by Wells Fargo. Putting this one solidly B-class card. I have no issue with Wells Fargo. I know some people have their takes on it, but when it comes to credit cards and Wells Fargo, I'm good for it. The only reason this card gets zonked into the B category is I think the sign-up bonus is a little bit high for what it is at a no annual fee card. You get 3x on the restaurants, 3x on the gas, 3x on the transit, no knock here. B, middle of the road, I jump on this, just not immediately. And the final card we'll look at today is the World of Hyatt card by Chase. Well, we're gonna put solidly in the B class as well. This is a card that if you stay with Hyatt, yeah, definitely makes a whole ton of sense. Great earnings on Hyatt. I'd say the sign-up bonus is pretty meh, but the annual fee can be canceled out because you get a free night certificate every year that you can use for anywhere from a category 1 to a category 4 Hyatt property. Cool, folks? This is it. That was 30 plus cards that we ranked from worst to best. Now, I would love to know in the comment section down below what you thought. What did you agree with and what did you vehemently disagree with? Because I'm sure I stirred some feathers with some of my rankings, but again, this is an open dialogue, so let me know your feedback. Comments, questions, drop it down below as well. And if you would like to support my channel in any way, you can feel free to check out some of my top affiliate offers down in the description box below, and I will catch you all on the next video. Peace.